Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back with the Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. Today, taking a look at a long anticipated character for me to be added to the Black Series, as well as I'm sure many people, if you're fans of the Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor games. It is Merrin, the Night Sister who joins Cal's crew in the first game and then is a continuing companion in the second game. This one specifically is based on her appearance in the second game, which I think is fine. I think this look lends itself a bit better to being a figure. It is also her more recent appearance, so it's a bit more fresh for me in people's memory, that sort of thing. Makes a little more sense to release this version. It'd be super cool to get her first game look as well, the more Night Sister sort of look. But I'm really happy we got the character at all. I'm really a big fan of those two games. We sporadically get characters here and there, and it's always great to get one of the more significant characters because we do get a lot of trooper variants and a lot of just different versions of Cal. So when we get characters from the crew, that's awesome. I would love to see them do a Grease and a Seer. Bode would be great, as well as even Endo Cordova would be super cool figures to get. But maybe someday we'll get those. But for right now, we'll take a look at Merrin. There is also a vintage collection 3¼ inch version of Merrin that's coming out now as well, that I think is very similar to this figure. I might get it eventually. I have opted just to go with the Black Series for now because I have more unique characters from the game in the Black Series scale. I think with the 3¼ inch, I don't have a Cal. I think they haven't done as many 3¼ inch ones. But I might get that figure eventually. Maybe if I get it on sale or something. But I'm actually really impressed with this figure. I mean, I knew I was going to like it. I like the character a lot, and I feel like it's a hard figure to mess up. But I think they really did a great job. She's probably not like a #1 figure of the year, Black Series figure of the year, but I think she's definitely a top 10 contender. She looks really great. And I guess first off, it is that head sculpt and face print that I think they did a really good job on. I think the sculpt looks awesome. The face print is really clean. I think it's pretty accurate to how she looked in the game. Some angles maybe a little better than others. I like the sculpt of the hair, and there's some individual like strands on the forehead and whatnot, which is super cool. The face tattoos, the gray skin, the eyebrows and the eyes, that inkjet printing I think worked out really well on this one. It's maybe ever so slightly a bit too glossy, but it's not too bad. Overall, it looks really good. I'm really happy with how that turned out. The rest of the outfit is great, and the rest of the figure, I believe, is 100% new sculpting, which is awesome. But you have her little coat going on. It's kind of cool. There's actually an inner like brown paint detailing on the inside of the hood, so I think that's really cool because that's definitely paint detail I feel like they could have probably gotten away with skipping on, but it's cool they still did it. You got little details like the silver detail on the coat there. The inside of the coat has that same brown on the sleeves. She's got some jewelry bracelets going on there around the wrists, some different paint apps around the more wrappings of the lower arms, and then the hands have that. I don't know if this this type of clothing has a specific name, but it kind of straps over her finger, and there's a little ring painted and sculpted there, which is great, and harkens back a bit to her Night Sister roots, which I think is cool. And underneath the coat, she's got like a red, nicely sculpted shirt there, and then the black like vest, I guess, and the gold necklace. Again, throwing a little bit of that Night Sister aesthetic into a more generalized design, I think works pretty well. And you have the belt there, a little gold thing hanging off, which is cool. Some pouches. The belts, and usually like with most brown leather style detailings on Black Series figures, could use a bit of a black wash to make it look a little more realistic, but it's not too bad. The belt sculpt is also part of the lower shirt sculpt as well. It's just one floating piece around the waist there, but I think that works out fine. The pants, pretty basic, just like gray pants, but the sculpting is still nicely done. And the boots look good too. I like the little etchings on the front, imprints. Some nice details. They didn't paint the buckles on the boots, which is a little unfortunate, but not a big deal. And yeah, overall, it's just a great looking figure. I think it looks really, really good. Articulation wise, she's also really well articulated. You do have dumbbell joint at the neck there. It doesn't go too far back because of the coat. It goes down actually a decent amount. A bit of pivot and then rotation. The coat is soft enough to mostly get out of the way there. Hinge of the shoulder goes out that far. It rotates. There is a butterfly joint in there. You'll get a bit of shifting motion. Really nice deep hinges at the elbows. That's really good because sometimes we get modern Black Series that only go to about 90. This one goes definitely much past 90, so that's really nice. And then she has the new style ball socket joint wrists, which is really nice. I like seeing these on the modern figures. Only issue is that the way they sculpted the forearm is that there's not a lot of clearance for the hand, so you don't actually get a ton of up and down motion. You get a bit, but I wish that was a little better if I had one nitpick. Then she has a joint at the waist there. She goes back a bit, crunches forward just a little, decent pivot, and then it rotates. And I like that it doesn't like stick and click. Sometimes you get Black Series figures, excuse me, other like 6-inch figures where this likes to click and stick, but this one moves just fine. Hip joints, they kick out pretty far, go back just a little bit. She does have like the cutout at the ball joint to give you a bit of rotation there, but it's not a lot. I am with a lot of people where I think they should bring back this swivel cut thighs, especially on this figure. It wouldn't look too bad anyways. Maybe some figures where it would really break up the sculpt and look bad, maybe not, but I think a lot of figures on Black Series you can get away with the sculpt, the swivel cut thighs. I wish they would kind of bring them back. They're much better than this. Anyways, single hinges at the knees go a little bit past 90. They rotate there at the knee. You also get a swivel cut at the boot, which is cool. And then you have a hinge at the ankle that goes up, down, and rocker for pivots. So pretty good articulation. You can actually get her in a kneeling pose, a natural kneeling pose pretty easily. So I'll just do that, try to do that real quick. Yeah, there you go. So it's super easy to get her in a pretty natural looking kneeling pose. So I really like that a lot. Although from the kneeling pose, you could maybe make the argument her upper legs are a little too long proportionally, or the knee joint feels like it may be a little too far down, but it doesn't really bother me. So in terms of accessories, she is decently kitted out. You get this little knife, which is nice. It's sculpted in like a silver gray sort of plastic, and you have paint on the grip for the brown. It looks good. She can hold it mainly in the right hand. So that looks nice. And then you can actually store it on her. She has this little sheath on the back of her belt. You can put it in either way. You can put it in this way, or you can put it in this way. It doesn't really matter. I actually don't know which way it's actually supposed to be, but either way works. This one makes more sense because this is where she would draw it with this arm, but I don't know. Then you also get her spear, which I think is actually the knife just transformed into a spear, because the end of the spear is the exact same as the knife, even with the little grip. Just has the longer spear grip on it. I can't remember. It's been a little bit since I played the game, but she probably used the magic or whatever to transform it into a spear or something. But a fair amount of paint apps. Again, it's like cast in this gray plastic. You got brown and blacks going on for the different spots where she'll grip it and whatnot. So that's really cool. Again, you can get her to hold it without much issue. And it looks pretty good. You get two-handed poses easily. It looks pretty nice. And then lastly, probably your coolest accessory is that she actually comes with a Night Sister Magic effect piece. Super cool in this translucent green plastic. Very nice. You know, effect parts are pretty few and far between in the Black Series. Usually you have to buy deluxe figures to get these or whatnot. So it's really nice they included this. And to put it on her, her left hand is sculpted still in sort of a gripping pose, but in a more open gesturing sort of pose. And then it just fits into that hand there. You can stick it in and then boom. You have her using her Night Sister Magic. I think that looks pretty good. And then it's pretty easy to put her in a pretty cool looking pose. Boom. I like how easy it is to pose this figure. The joints all move nice and smoothly, have nice range, and you can see right here, I just put her in a pretty dynamic action pose really quickly and really easily. So that looks pretty nice in my opinion. So that's really cool. The only difference, I don't have the TVC figure, like I said. The only difference in accessories is that the TVC figure actually does come with an interchangeable hand where the hand is fully splayed out. That then you use with the effect piece that comes with that figure. It's a little unfortunate this figure didn't come with an interchangeable hand as well. However, it doesn't bother me too much because one, the left hand is sculpted to be a bit more in a gesturing pose while still being able to do grip stuff. And once you have the effect part on the hand, you can't see the hand anyways, which I assume is probably pretty similar for the TVC, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to be displaying this figure using the effect, I'm sure, most of the time. So it doesn't really bother me that she doesn't come with that, although it still would have been nice and it's worth mentioning. Anyways, I'm going to straighten her out real quick, just so we can finish off with some comparison. Of which, like I said, unfortunately don't have the TVC figure. If I ever get the TVC figure, I'll do the comparison then, but I don't know when I'm going to get that. If I'm even going to get it, to be honest. But there's Merrin, of course. You're going to probably want to put her with Cal. And they look really good together. This is the Cal from almost a couple years ago now, which is kind of crazy. They do have that 2-pack, or multi-pack, I should say, coming with Cal. I can't remember the frog guy's name, unfortunately, and the little scuba guy. Definitely tempted to get that. It's actually not a terrible price, and you get some pretty more deeper cut characters from the game and some pretty cool accessories with Cal. So I might wait for a sale on that, but I am actually interested in getting that, so I might do a video on that someday. We'll see. But these two look good together, even if I don't end up getting that pack. Then with another Jedi Survivor figure from this year, actually. Here she is with Dig and Jera. Again, this trio of figures looks really great. And we're finally kind of starting to shape out to the Jedi Survivor shelf collection, whatever, without it just being a bunch of Cals and Troopers. So like I said, I hope we get more actual characters from the game soon. Again, like Seer and the crew members and all that stuff. And even some of the Inquisitors that they missed. Yeah, these guys look great. And then I guess lastly, just for fun and just for another Jedi game character, here's a Purge Trooper. It was a bit dusty because I have not messed with this figure in a long time. But yeah, overall, I think this is actually a really solid figure. If you're a fan of the games or just like the look of the character, 100% recommend this figure. It's a really good one. Honestly, I feel it's definitely worth the price. You know, in this day and age, it's getting tougher and tougher to justify full price for Black Series figures, but this one definitely feels worth it. 100% new sculpt, looks great, great articulation, good accessories. Yeah, just a really well done figure by Hasbro, so definite recommend from me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.